Well, this is incredibly disturbing, but the AP is reporting that U.S. contractors are shooting at Palestinians trying to get aid, and they're cheering after they shoot them. This is according to the AP, saying American contractors guarding aid distribution sites in Gaza are using live ammunition and stun grenades as hungry Palestinians scramble for food, according to accounts and videos obtained by the Associated Press. And here is a video of the contractors shooting at them and then saying, "I think we got one. Hell yeah, boy." Watch this.
Armed American security contractors at one of the sites discuss how to disperse Palestinians nearby.
Hey, got IDF tank posted on the northwest corner now. I brought him in and talked to him. Let's do the show first. I told him to hold there. I don't want this to be too aggressive.
At that moment, bursts of gunfire erupt close by. At least 15 shots.
I think you hit one.
The camera's view is obscured by a large dirt mound. The contractor who took the video told AP that he saw other contractors shooting in the direction of Palestinians who had just collected their food and were departing.
I mean, just absolutely sickening. Goes on to say in this AP report, 2 U.S. contractors speaking to the AP on condition of anonymity because they were revealing their employer's internal operations, said they were coming forward because they were disturbed by what they considered a dangerous and irresponsible practice. You think? Shooting Palestinians collecting aid, you think that would be dangerous and irresponsible? It's beyond that. I don't even have words for that. They said the security staff hired were often unqualified, unvetted, heavily armed, and seemed to have an open license to do whatever they wished. They said their colleagues regularly lobbed stun grenades and pepper spray in the direction of the Palestinians. One contractor said bullets were fired in all directions, in the air, into the ground, and at times towards the Palestinians, recalling at least one instance where he thought someone had been hit. Quote, "They are innocent people being hurt badly, needlessly," the contractor said. He said American staff on their sites monitor those coming to seek food and document anyone considered suspicious. He said they share such information with the Israeli military, which is what we knew. We knew that the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, is not really a humanitarian organization, but is instead basically an arm of the IDF that is trying to distribute, claiming to distribute aid to the Palestinians. Meanwhile, shooting them and killing many of them. The Gaza Humanitarian Fund denies this. They said in a statement in recent reporting, they said this was the statement they had to the Associated Press. They said GHF launched an immediate investigation when the Associated Press first brought these allegations to our attention. Based on the time-stamped video footage and sworn witness statements, we have concluded that the claims in the AP story are categorically false. At no point were civilians under fire at a GHF distribution site. The gunfire heard in the video was confirmed to have originated from the IDF, who was outside the immediate vicinity of the GHF distribution site. So they're saying the IDF did it. It was not directed at individuals and no one was shot or injured. What is most troubling is that the AP refused to share the full video with us prior to publication, despite the seriousness of the allegations. If they believe their own reporting, they should have provided us with the footage so we could take immediate and appropriate action. The primary source for the story is a disgruntled former contractor who was terminated for misconduct weeks before this article was published. I think that they wrote this statement. I mean, just reading this statement right now, I think that they released this statement before the AP released the video that clearly has gunshots and someone yelling, "I think we got one. Hell yeah, boy." We're hearing it with our own ear. So you can't just sit there and say, no, this isn't true. They said the fact combined with the AP's refusal to engage in good faith prior to publication undermines the credibility of their reporting. Their coverage of our aid operations has increasingly echoed narratives advanced by the Hamas-controlled Gaza Ministry of Health. In response, we are pursuing legal action. We take the safety and security of our sites extremely seriously. When behavior falls short of our standards, we act. The contractor seen shouting in the video. So, okay, I guess they did see the video. The contractor seen shouting in the video was removed from our operations. We remain focused on delivering food to the people of Gaza safely, directly, and without interference. That mission is too important to be derailed by misinformation. You want to talk about misinformation? I mean, that's them releasing this statement here. Look at this. It's not misinformation when hundreds of Palestinians have been killed at these aid sites. So how are you going to explain that? Oh, the one guy in the video was fired, right? What about all of the other guys that shot these 300 Palestinians dead? And that's just in the last 48 hours. So Israel kills over 300 Palestinians in 48 hours as Gaza runs out of graves. That is the headline here on this story. Just absolutely abhorrent. We've seen hundreds of Palestinians killed at these aid sites. This one was the Israeli army has carried out over 26 massacres in less than 48 hours, killing more than 300 Palestinians across the Gaza Strip. According to the office, the latest attacks targeted densely populated areas, including shelters, displacement centers, leisure spaces, homes, markets, hospitals, and aid distribution points. How do you explain that if it was just a one-off? We've been seeing this for months and months and months and months and months. And the story has always been that, well, that was just, no, misinformation, that is just a one-off. And meanwhile, there are thousands upon thousands of dead Palestinians. And all the hospitals have been destroyed. They first said, oh, misinformation, we don't target hospitals. Now all the hospitals have been destroyed. Misinformation, we don't target innocent Palestinians. Thousands and thousands of children have been killed. It's misinformation. We don't shoot at Palestinians at aid distribution sites. Hundreds of Palestinians just in the last couple of months have been shot and killed at aid distribution sites. So, we're dealing with a homicidal regime. This is just a homicidal regime. And unfortunately, they're bringing out the best of the best in U.S. military contractors, right, who are coming out there and thinking, all right, I get free aim, free for all. This is wonderful. That's what they're thinking. This is just absolutely sickening and horrifying that not only are we funding this and going along with this, but we're also sending contractors, and these contractors are, shooting at these Palestinians and actually cheering. It's just absolutely disgusting. So let's talk about this ceasefire framework that they claim has come out between Trump and Netanyahu. They came to an agreement about what they're going to do with the Palestinians. They didn't bring the Palestinians in on this. Hamas is now looking at this agreement, the 60-day ceasefire deal. And this is what's in it. This is some of the details in it. So the 60-day ceasefire. So this is not an end to the war. This is just 60-day ceasefire. Some hostages will be released. 10 live Israeli hostages and 18 deceased from the list of 58 would be released on days 1, 7, 30, 50, and 60 in various different increments. Like day 1, they're going to give 8 living hostages. Day 7, 5 deceased hostages. Day 30, 5 deceased hostages. Day 52, live ones. Day 68, deceased ones. Then when it comes to humanitarian aid, they said aid would be delivered to Gaza immediately upon Hamas's approval of the ceasefire. This would follow a separate agreement focused on aid for civilians in effect throughout the ceasefire and align with the January 19th humanitarian aid agreement. And this aid would be distributed not by the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, but by United Nations and the Red Crescent. All Israeli offensive military operations in Gaza would have to stop once the agreement is implemented. During the ceasefire, aerial activity, which is military and surveillance, would be suspended over Gaza for 10 hours a day or 12 hours on days involving hostage or prisoner exchanges. After the release of live hostages, Israel will redeploy from the northern Gaza Strip and the Netzarim corridor in line with Article 3 on humanitarian aid and based on mutually agreed maps. So they'd be redeployed. After the release of deceased hostages, redeployment would occur from the southern Gaza Strip, also based on Article 3 and agreed maps. Technical teams would work out final redeployment boundaries throughout negotiations. Then the negotiations on day 1, a mediator-guaranteed negotiation would begin on the following arrangements for permanent ceasefire. 1, keys and conditions for exchanging all remaining Israeli hostages for an agreed number of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. They call them prisoners, they're hostages also. It's always, the semantics of it are really important because they really gaslight us with the semantics. Issues related to redeployment, withdrawal, and long-term security arrangements in Gaza would be discussed. And then the day after the war ends, those would be discussed as well. Formal declarations of a permanent ceasefire. President Trump is committed to ensuring both parties uphold the ceasefire. He insists that if negotiations during the temporary ceasefire succeed, they will lead to a permanent resolution of the conflict. Who believes that? Should they believe that? Should Hamas believe that? Should anybody believe that? Iran was at the negotiation table talking about a nuclear deal, and they got bombed while they were at the negotiation table. So should they trust that the United States will uphold this deal when the United States has proven itself to not be trustworthy at all? The release of Palestinian hostages in exchange for the release of Israeli hostages, an agreed number of Palestinian prisoners would be released. This would happen in parallel with hostage releases and without public ceremonies or displays. So they don't want to see the fanfare, which I think is fair enough. I didn't really like the fanfare myself, so I'd prefer that Hamas doesn't do that. And I would just like to see the hostages released without all of that. Status of hostages and prisoners. Day 10, Hamas will provide complete information, which is proof of life, medical reports, confirmation of death on the remaining hostages. In return, Israel will provide full information on the Palestinians arrested from Gaza since October 7th, mean captured and held, not arrested. They're not prisoners, they're hostages, just the same. Prisoners of war. I mean, you're talking about, how could they be prisoners if you're not in control of the Gaza Strip? If that's not your country, they can't be your prisoners. Well, they can be. They could be your prisoners of war, but they can't be like arrested and held like as if they've just committed a crime. No, they're from a different country, according to you. But the reality is they're not from a different country. Israel controls the entire region, and even though they claim they don't. And they say the guarantors will be the mediators, the United States, Egypt, and Qatar. They will guarantee the ceasefire lasts for 60 days and that serious negotiations on permanent arrangements take place. They also guarantee that, if necessary, negotiations may continue beyond 60 days under agreed procedures. So they don't have to come to an agreement in 60 days. They can delay. I mean, this isn't the first time we've heard all of this, so I'm not really sure if it's like I'll believe this when I see this. And what is it? And it's just a ceasefire. This isn't an actual end to the war. We already know what Netanyahu wants. He wants the entire strip. He wants all the Palestinians gone. He wants to ethnically cleanse. And we're just kind of pretending like we're not aiding and abetting that when we absolutely are. And we've got U.S. contractors cheering after shooting Gazans, and Palestinians are being killed by the hundreds every single day. And, we're acting like, oh no, we're negotiating peace in good faith. I mean, does that sound like that's what this is to you? So just wanted to give you an update on the atrocities going on in against the Palestinians, the ones that we're supporting, these two, negotiating this ceasefire agreement amongst themselves, handing it over to Hamas, saying accept it or else, it's going to get worse for you, is what President Trump said. How much worse can it get for them? I mean, I suppose they could just continue on with their genocide and follow through with it, but this is absolutely... I just cannot believe that we, as a country, our government supports this. And I can't believe that so many people in our country also could support the massacre of children and call it Judeo-Christian values, which actually is what we're going to be talking about next. Hey guys, thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iversen Show, which you could check out Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. See you there.